I'm gonna change live on another subject. Alright, Shalom, y'all. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit beareth witness that they're the children of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright. I wanted to go into these two witnesses because I want to go into who they are, because these two witnesses they're coming. I'm gonna go into like basically who they are, and I'm gonna show y'all why I'm going into that. Cause these two witnesses are coming back, like they're coming back today. These days they've been raised up. It's not what these so-called Christians, what they say is what they say it is not what that movie Left Behind say it is, for example. In other words, it's not just two men. Alright. Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of Yahweh in the altar, and those that dwell therein. And Aslakia, and them that worship therein. Verse 12. But the court which is in without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. In the holy city shall they tread on the foot 42 months. And of course, that's like symbolic. It's not literally 40 in 2 months. It's a time and a time and half a time, basically. Basically, it's talking about our captivity because we are the temple. We are that third temple. Our bodies is the temple. And the 1/3 on this side is the one third on this side is the that temple, like that temple for now. It consists of the 1/3 of Yasharallah, because 2/3 ain't right on this side. Verse 2. But the court which is without the temple leave not, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 40 and 2 months. So the court which is without the temple, so those that basically they're not a part of this third temple, the body of Yahushai, that they're like giving over to the Gentiles, giving over to Esau Edom to do what he want with them. Verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. Which again, that doesn't mean, oh, Shalom, Akwad, Keiko, Yahal, Bashem, Yahushai, Barakatah. Verse 4. These are the 2 olive trees, and the 2 candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. Verse 5. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Khan. Call y'all Bashem Yahushai, Khan. That we was able to go to camp yesterday. Edify the sheep out there. Yeah. That was that the spirit was with us. We edified. Hey, a sister came up to the camp. Oh, Khan. No problem, Aquath. We was able to edify the sheep out there. Wake up. Hey, that's what I'm going into right here with the 2 witnesses. Because the 2 witnesses is not just 2 men. It's the northern and southern kingdom. The so-called blacks. Khan. The so-called blacks and Haitians and West Indians and their descendants scattered throughout the 4 corners, as well as the so-called Latinos and Native Americans and their descendants that have been scattered to the 4 corners. Basically, the 2 kingdoms coming together, because when King David and Solomon was running shit, when the kingdoms were united, we was putting hell we was putting hell on these heathens. Especially then. Even when we were separate kingdoms, we would do our thing. But when we was united under the house of David, we was putting holy hell on these heathens. We was a terror unto them. Judah was a terror unto them, and as well as the house of Joseph, as well as the northern kingdom. We were together, like, and those days are coming back. So I'm gonna get a precept to that. Verse Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass that in that day that Yahweh, well, let me read from verse 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And part of it is talking about these Israelite foreigners coming back into the fold. That they're called Gentiles, but they're gonna come back to their original identity, to their heritage. And also under the kingdom, after those 1,000 years, even these heathens, except for Esau, Edom, of course, they're gonna be under us, but they're gonna be paying tribute, but they're gonna be better off than how they are now. But first off, primarily it's talking about the Israelite foreigners, because in verse 11, and it shall, both northern and southern kingdom, by the way, in verse 11, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh Shem Yahushai shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. So from all these places around the world, specifically mentioning these places, Assyria, where the northern kingdom went into captivity, and from Egypt, we was in captivity there too, as well as there was Israelites that went down there even after. Jake was always going down there to Egypt, but also Babylon, America is known as these Edomites are known as Assyrians, the modern day Assyrians, and they're known as the modern day Egyptians. So it also kind of goes into that as well. And it's heavy that it's mentioned. Assyria and Egypt is mentioned first. It shows you that. And from Pathros, which that's also in that area as well. That the land of Ham, Egypt, in the Egypt area. And from Cush, and so beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, right? And from Elam, so these different places. Elam, the East Indians, so from their land. And from, which is also Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan area, Elam. And from Shinar, from Iraq. and from Hamath, which I believe it's in that. These are areas that are basically in most of them are inhabited by Ishmaelites today. And from the islands of the sea, so the islands of the Gentiles, right? So both in Europe you have these different islands in the Mediterranean and England, Ireland, and also where Japhet is today, and the Philippines and the Pacific Islands. You have a brother that actually broke down the name of the Lord, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, out there. And Japan, of course, that's island and the Ammonites today, they live there. Verse 12, and he shall set up, and of course Benjamin live in the Caribbean islands. Verse 12, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So the outcasts of Israel, the Israelite foreigners out of Israel, the northern kingdom, and out of Judah, the southern kingdom. They're outcasts like from their own nation, as well as it refers to our people being outcasts among the heathen in general. Verse 13, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. So the northern and southern kingdom rivalry, Ephraim's envy Judah doing their thing, vexing Ephraim, that shit, and of course it's being furthered by these devils. They're encouraging northern and southern kingdom to come against each other. But that's gonna be over with. And you can already see that happening. Like, kind of what inspired me to go into this was it GMS Denver live camp. It's Ishkari brothers, and you got a Judite brother in there too. Also, there's an Ishkari brother that's coming into the fold, and Men of Valor camp, and then I'm an Israelite foreigner of the Southern Kingdom, and also, there was that brother Lawam out there with us, who's of course he's an original looking Jake from the Kingdom of Judah, from the tribe of Judah. We're not vexing or envying each other. We're one mind together, one mind, one body, so one mind. Verse 14, but they shall fly upon, this is that part I was talking about. We're gonna, like we was doing that before, we're coming back to that again. Verse 14, but they shall, one accord, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. So we're going to be a terror unto these heathens again. Because this is the house of David being risen up all over again. Verse 15, and Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and he shall smite it into the 7 streams, and make man go over dry shod. Okay, there shall be a highway for a remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like it was to Israel in the day that he came up in the land of Egypt. So this, modern day Assyria, is speaking of both, because you do have scattered, you do have a northern kingdom that was left in the land of Assyria, of course. But also this is modern day Assyria and modern day Egypt. And also, I mentioned that this is the house of David being risen up all over again. And there's a chapter in the book of Amos that goes into that. Amos 9 verse 11. And in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. So the tabernacle of David, that's speaking of when we was both united under one king. And close up the breaches thereof. There you go. Between the northern and the southern, between the light skin and the dark skin, between just all the divisions that are like based on carnality that are in Israel. Verse 12, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that doeth this. So there you go. That's a direct precept to this. That we may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name. Say that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. The two witnesses being risen back up. Verse 13. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. So the plowman, that's us out there. We work in these jobs out there. That's the jobs that they allow us to have for the most part. These hard working type jobs. In these plantations, right? And they make no account of our labors. And everything gonna be made new again, because this devil is gonna be moved out of the way, and we gonna be brought back. Verse 14, and I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. Reversing the curses because in the curses it talks about that we would have vineyards like farms and shit. We would have vineyards and we wouldn't basically drink the wine thereof like another nation would. Another nation would take the fruit of our labor. That's the reversing of those curses. And instead, those curses will be on our enemies. And they shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. There you go. Which really we're going to have these devils doing all the hard work. Since the curses are going to be put on them instead. Verse 15, and I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That power, So this is the house of David, the same house that was being a terror unto these heathens. The same house we was putting hell on them. Verse 6. These have power to shut heaven. We was right with our power, like we had prophets in the land and everything. We was right with our power. We was in touch with our power as a nation. Verse 6. Those have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And also, since those days are coming back, I might add that's also going into the spiritual power as well. Since those days are coming back, that's why. Oh, shalom by Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatah. That's actually the name of a church, 2 witnesses. But that consists of the elect of the northern and southern kingdoms. Verse 7. And when they have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. So Esau, Edom, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit, Europe, where you barely have any resources. Khan, Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatah. Khan, camp was on fire. There was people that came up. We edified them. GMS even came up, but the important thing that people actually are paying attention more because they're seeing these prophecies come to pass. So, verse 7 goes into these devils taking both the northern and southern kingdom down. When they came as the Greeks, and then they came as the Romans to take down Judah, and the revised Roman Empire to take down Judah, and they came over to the Americas to take down the northern kingdom. After the Assyrians chased the northern kingdom out. Northern kingdom went to Arthur, to a land never man dwelt, which is why they're called the indigenous or Native Americans, because they were the first people there. It makes sense. And also there's plenty of artifacts proving that they're the tribes. But anyways, Esau came over here and took down our people. And verse 8, this is what happened next. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord Yahushai was crucified. So that's self-explanatory. That's America, where Yahushai was symbolically crucified, replaced with the false image and all that. And what he stands for is constantly being attacked. Verse 9, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their bodies to be put in graves. So a time, like 1 time, 2 times, and a half a time. 3 days and a half. And they have washed us like we the dead bones. They have washed us. They watch us to, kill each other. Watch us actually help further the curses. Promoting that music, that drill music, promoting that music that promote whoredom, that the so-called hip hop culture, that promote whoredom, that promote selling drugs to your own people, sorcery, that promote murdering your own people, banging on your own people like that's a stranger. No, that's your brother. That dead state of mind, that black state of mind. that 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 for you Northern Kingdom, that vato loco state of mind, you know. Because all the tribes, they are in the dead, they've been in a dead state. Verse 10, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. We was a terror unto them. So they rejoiced over us, and they sent gifts one to another, which was slaves, which was basically trinkets. There you go. Basically postcards, like postcards of lynchings, for example. Like even parts of us, shit like that. You know, shit, just gifts. You know, gifts, souvenirs and shit that had to do with our downfall. You know, hold on, Akim. Hold on. That's exactly what happened. Verse 11, it's Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. And then what did Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11 basically is saying this, the same thing here. Alright, verse 11. Hey, that's the Spirit, man. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And these nations out, they're shook. They're shook out here. They're scared because our people that are meant to wake up on this side, the 1/3 are receiving the truth. They're receiving the truth about what the name of who is ignorantly called God and Jesus is, that his real name is Yahweh and his son's name is Yahushai. They're shook, man, just at that they're Israelites, that they're not black, they're not Latino, they're not Native American, they're Native Israelites, that they're not wherever they're scattered to, they're not Irish, they're not Italian, they're not they're scattered in China, they're not Chinese, they're not Filipino, wherever they at, wherever Israel is scattered to. They're learning that that's not their true identity, that their identity is that they are one of the 12 tribes of Israel. And so that is putting great fear in these heathens which see us, especially the wicked Esau Edom, which watches the righteous and seeketh to slay it. And that's why it's so. That's why they get so mad. They get especially mad at the name being pushed. They get especially mad at that. Yeah, they get mad about us coming back to our true identities as Israelites, because, you know, that's enough to have them shook, but especially the name. Because when you can call upon the true name, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, when you can call upon the true names of the Most High and His Son, like, that's power. That's you can call on Him to deliver you. And they don't want us to be connected with our power, you know. That movie Shazam actually showed that. Save My Name. Because there's power in that name. Not in the name of Jesus, not in the name of God, not in these other names. Jehovah, which there's no J in Hebrew. Jesus is a Greek title. It's not even right to call him that. But there's power in the name of Yahweh, in the names of Yahweh and Yahushai, though. There's power. There's power in that name, which is why you say Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. There's power. There's power in those names. Verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Okay, that's coming up next. And not only is he going to raise up that standard, because it shows you that in that movie Shazam, that he called upon his name, and he was given power. Not just that, not actual spiritual power, because this is low level spiritual power, being able to get these scriptures and break them down, and be also we're healing the minds of our people. So that this is low level spiritual power, but the days are coming when that's gonna be it's gonna be ramped up. He's gonna raise that standard, but that's coming next. The chariots. Those clouds, he make it this cloud the chariot. They're coming. Those chariots are coming to pick up his two witnesses, and they're gonna see us. They're gonna see us, and actually, that's the strangeness of our salvation. Wisdom of Solomon go into that. The strangeness of our salvation. Verse 1. Then shall a righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. Verse 2. The plowmen. We use the plowmen. They were benefiting off of that work, eating the fruit of our labors. There you go. Lines right up. Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. So, this is how our people are actually going to be saved. Not through voting, not through armed revolutions like what NFAC is promoting, what these different what the Black Panthers promoted before. Not through that, not through carnal means, through the chariots, that through those so-called UFOs, which are actually identified in the scriptures. That's how we are gonna be saved, and they're gonna see that, and that's what they're gonna think. They basically wasted their time. They counted our life madness and our end to be without honor. Hey, that's actually what it says. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, verse 3, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and the proverb of reproach. So proverbs and bywords that we've been called, especially, they call us, and it's true, they call us Black Hebrew Israelites, they call us BIE, Black Identity Extremists, they call us a sect, they call us a cult, which cult means worship, and if you worship, then you're in a cult. But they use it to mean a sect, and they call us we conspiracy theorists too. So these are bywords that they have for for us that are in the truth. They have extra bywords, not just the other bywords that they call Jake in general. And that's verse 4. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. So the foolishness of preaching, basically. Standing out there in the highways and byways and bidding to the marriage. People that pass by are like, man, these dudes are just wasting their life away. They're just standing there. They're standing there in tablecloths or in dresses and just. I actually had it was actually a dude on Twitter that was like that. He's supposed to be in the truth. He said we put our tablecloths on and go out there and preach. No, we was talking about, something else, a whole different subject, but that's what they be thinking though. We wear tablecloths and go out there just to cuss out so-called white people and cuss out our and preach doom and gloom. That's what they think. Like we're just we have no life, and that's why they cruise by us and they rev their engines and they put their music on blast, and right where we're at too. They put their music on blast. I mean, some of them might honk too. Usually you have them revving their engines. You have them putting their music on blast. You even had a dude fucking photobombed us when he was streaming live. Like, niggas, man. It be our own people. Not just these heathens, but our own people that act like heathens and think of themselves that way too. Man, Satan fucking on my phone. Had some shit froze on my phone. Satan, of course, you have that opposition, that adversary. That's his job. I was gonna get that foolishness of preaching in scripture, but these devils are, or spiritual demon Satan, Well, they're the adversary. That's set up. The adversary, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, he like a good fight. Yahweh was a god of war. The son Yahweh Shai, they're Yahweh and the son Yahweh Shai, they are one mind. He likes a good fight. Likes you to fight for the cause. Not just fight for the kingdom, not just expect it to be given to you, in this spiritual warfare. Yeah, I'm trying to get that scripture where it talks about that. But I guess we are fools for Yahweh Shai's sake. That tells you enough right there. See, if that's alright, even though we're fools to this world, we got the wisdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So it's their loss. It's like these 2/3, they lightly esteem the rock of their salvation. And of course, these devils, I mean, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai ain't even with these devils and heathens. But it's these 2/3 that don't even consider consider the ox. The ox knows his owner and the ass knows master's crib, but Jake don't even consider. Verse 5, how is he numbered among the children of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, and his lot is among the saints. So now, they gonna realize, and some of them are already starting to realize. There was someone that actually said on a comment board on the Savoy show when they were showing the red skies. Someone actually said on a comment board the Hebrew Israelites were right. People are starting to realize it, but 2/3 will realize when it's too late. Verse 6, therefore we have erred from the way of truth. And the light of righteousness had not shined unto us. And the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. So it didn't dawn on them. It didn't dawn on them, basically. This truth, I mean, what the Bible really goes into, what's, like, for example, what's Babylon? What's Babylon? No, it's not a city. Babylon nowadays is not a city in Iraq, or it's not even the Vatican. Like some jakes will say it's the Vatican. No, it's modern day Rome, which is America. These things didn't dawn upon these 2/3. That the name of the Son is not Jesus, it's Yahushai, that his Father's name is Yahweh, that no, the law was not done away with. It's just that Yahushai is the sacrifice. That these things didn't dawn upon them. You know, and they didn't consider. Like I said, you know. Yet Jeshurun out here is fat. They wax fat again. They comfortable. You know, like in Egypt, they was comfortable. We want to go back to Egypt, they told Moses. Why you lead us out here in the desert to die? You know, because they didn't have them creature comforts over here, out there in the desert. Just like in the truth, you are told to abstain from these abominable foods. You gotta keep the Sabbath. Yeah, you gotta fast on Day of Atonement. Yeah, you can't smoke weed, do fucking witchcraft. You know, pharmakia, you can't do none of that. You know, not that type of witchcraft, with sorceries or any type. You can't. You can't worship Mary. No, you can't, or the saints. No, you can't. For the women, no, you can't show your cheeks out here for all the men to see, and show your cleavage out here. Show your whole, basically most of your titty out here. Basically, you can't do that. You can't be a harlot in the streets. No, you're not. You can't be a bad bitch. You're not a bad bitch. You're a princess. You're not a nigga. You're a king. No, that's wrong. Like, you gotta love your brother. You so-called black people. No, you can't hate Latinos and Native Americans and treat them like a separate nation. Treat them like your enemy and shit. No, those are your brothers. Vice versa. And Israelite foreigners out there. No, the people of the Lord are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and natives. Like, no, the Most High and His Son, they're not so-called white men. Like, all these things, gotta give up this Babylonian wine. Just like an Egyptian, you had to give up those philosophies that was taught to Jake back then. Those idols that was around us. You can bet that, you already know it. You already know that back in the land of Egypt, our people was going into idolatry as well. That's just how our people are. They was in Egypt, and they was catching hell, and they thought that maybe we should worship some of their idols. You already know that's what they did when they came into the land of Canaan, which is now Israel. That's how our people be like. But yeah, we had to give all that up, and so our people was like, we want to go back. And it's these same 2/3, the ones that were telling Moses, that the ones that tried to put Moses to death, the same ones that participated in the gainsaying of Kor. I read verse 6 already. Verse 7, we worried ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of Yahweh, we have not known it. So they worried themselves in the way of wickedness. Like what is and destruction, like killing, murdering each other, all these things that I mentioned. Just wickedness and destruction, that black lifestyle, that Latino lifestyle, that native lifestyle, that lifestyle wherever that res lifestyle, the lifestyle wherever they was scattered to, being basically, which is just a different version of the black lifestyle. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. They sought out broken cisterns. They sought out broken cisterns instead of. Yeah, they have committed 2 evils. That reminds me of a scripture. Like, because this is that fountain of living water. Hold up. I'm trying to find that verse that go into that broken cisterns. Hmm. Hold up. Hmm. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know where that's at. Hold on. I don't know what that's at. I was looking for. Hold up though. I get this one instead. Yeah, this one right here. Verse Isaiah chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Isaiah the son of Amoz, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. It applies now as well. But let me go. Let me go into it. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh Shem Yahushai has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. Verse 3, the ox knoweth his owner, and his ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know, my people is not considered. That's how these 2/3 are out here. They don't know, because they don't consider. Hold on, let's get dark in here. Verse 4, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They have gone way backward. You know, they're basically going back to the ways of the heathen. Verse 5, why should ye be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. So they're gone way backwards, and a lot of these people, what they'll say about what they're doing, like the LGBT shit, for example, that they go into, that they support. Oh yeah, we gotta support gay rights and shit. that type of shit. Oh, it's progressive. Nah, y'all going way backwards. But that goes into the whole head is sick. So the head tribe of Yasharallah, Judah, whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. And that also goes into the curses that have been on our people. Faint heart, trembling heart, sorrow of mind, and madness. Being our people, good majority of them are stricken with madness. Verse 6, from the sole of the foot even unto the head there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. So, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, so like all the way down, Judah all the way down to Issachar, there is no soundness in it. No, the mind is not sound, and they don't believe in sound doctrine. And wounds and bruises, that's why these devils, these heathens, that's why they lick our wounds in the hood, and the barrios, and the res, wherever we at. They set up shop to lick our wounds. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. So it's like it's open sores. Ain't even been closed. It's open sores that should gotta be bound up, like stitched up. They ain't even been stitched up. Neither mollified with ointment. Like, so they're just untreated open wounds. And no wonder these heathen dogs, no wonder they're in our neighborhoods, they're in our neighborhoods licking our wounds, which actually doesn't do good for the wound. They actually, a dog's saliva is actually infectious to the wound. It's not good for it. The dog benefits off of it, but not the person with the wound. And so they go in our hood, they sell cigarettes, they sell us junk food, that shish kebab and mystery meat shit. that shit, man. Sell us shit like that, make money off of our suffering, sell us, have liquor stores out there, which I'm not saying it's unlawful to drink, but to be drunken at all hours of the day, every day and shit, yeah, like you're supposed to be sober so you can pay attention to the prophecies. But anyways, that's what they do. And these Moabites selling us dog meat, they say it's chicken. They're selling us abominations, fucking shrimp and shit in the hood. You get what I'm saying? They lick our wounds. And of course, Esau putting them drugs, putting them guns in the hood. That's another way. But these wounds are open. They're open, not even treated, open and gush. They infect wounds. They infected wounds. That's how the whole body is sick. Verse 7, your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land strangers devoured in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. Well, which is talking about, of course, the land, our actual land being occupied by these devils, as well as the neighborhoods that we live in. It's desolate out there. It's dead out there, and you see them fired. You see when these riots happen, like these fires that they burn down the businesses and shit. Jake businesses, they get targeted by who? These Edomite rioters out there that claim to be for so-called black lives. Yet they destroy, Jake neighborhoods. They destroy, they destroy so-called black neighborhoods, but claim that they're full of black lives or whatever. Yeah, they want you to continue being black. Yeah, but and also, hey, Cali, the area. Cali is a state with a heavy Jake population, and the countryside around these cities is burned up, and air was full of smoke and shit. It's red. The sky's red. It's through. Strangers devour it. They take all of the fruit of our labor and shit. And it's desolate. It's overthrown by strangers. So, yeah, that's obvious. Verse 8, and the daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in the garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. And then ultimate fulfillment of all this is going to be during Jacob's trouble. Verse 9, except Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, except the Lord of hosts, had left unto us a very small remnant, the elect, the 1/3, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. So that's the righteous man that they marvel at the strangeness of his salvation. And so the rulers of our people, the role models, right? The celebrities, these big name pastors, these prosperity preachers out there, those people, these so-called activists among our people, they're called the rulers of Sodom, and our people called the people of Gomorrah. Verse 10, hear the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, ye rulers of Sodom, give ear unto the law of our power, ye people of Gomorrah. Because it's the same shit that they're doing. They're acting like Sodomites. That the so-called LGBT, the homosexual population has been the highest among Jake. It was originally an Edomite thing, but Esau pushed it hard on our people, and what our people do for the most part accept it. Yeah, when our people go to church, and when our people celebrate these so-called holidays, especially the so-called Christian holidays, they think that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is down with that, which he's not. He rejects those sacrifices. They're actually an abomination unto him. Verse 11, they're not even done in righteousness nowadays. These are the days when our people actually knew who we was and would actually observe those feasts. But what we do, we go off after. And there's people in Israel, and within the circumcision that know they're Israelites that be doing that shit. Or they go to camp, or after Day of Atonement, after camp, after these feasts, or they go and do their own thing. They go back and do the things of the world because they are actually of the world. They just know more than the average 2/3. Verse 11, to what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me? Saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, And I delight not in the bulls of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he goats. And back then he didn't delight in that. Really, that was in place of Yahweh Shai, which was going to come later on. This was going to be until Shiloh come. But nowadays, that sacrifices are living, our bodies, we a living sacrifice out there. You get what I'm saying, though. These 2/3, they offer up a sacrifice that's basically like worthless, basically, because their behavior don't, because they still ain't right. They still ain't right. Yeah, so these 2/3 that do this shit, they act like the heathen. Don't want to come back to their true identity. That's the ones that spoken them in verse 7. Well, as for the way of Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai, we have not known it. Verse 8, what have pride profited us, or what have riches with our vanity brought us? Because this is not just speaking of these heathens, but these 2/3 as well. That's why I'm saying that. Verse 9, all those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasteth by. And verse 10, and as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it's gone by the trace thereof can be found near the pathway.
And as a ship that passeth,
Salakia, near the pathway of the keel in the waves. Verse 11, or as when a bird hath flown through the air, there is no token of her way to be found, but the light air being beaten with the stroke of her wings and parted with the violent noise and motion of them, is passed through, and therein afterwards no sign where she went is to be found. Verse 12, or like an arrow, or like as when an arrow is shot by a mark, it parted the air, which immediately cometh together against the man, so that a man cannot know where it went through. So basically, like, it was pointless. The way of wickedness, the way of these heathens is pointless. That's the real foolishness. But, our people ain't going along with the heathens, Esau, Edom. They're going along with them. They go in the way of destruction. They're mourning that, they're mourning that. They're great fear falling upon them, because these heathens, they want the 1/3 to be like the 2/3, continue to be lost. That's my whole point going into that. Verse 12, and they heard a great voice. Okay, that's the chariots. That's the strength, the strangeness of their salvations. That their enemies are gonna see that. Come up with, they're gonna see that. Verse 13, in that same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. So now, then, those days, like, hey, that goes back to in the day of your power, basically, they will believe. In the day of thy power, yup. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. It goes into that. Psalm 110, verse 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast to do of thy youth. So in the day of our power, that's when our people are going to be willing. You know, that's the Psalm of David, you know. The Lord, that's the same one where it says in verse 1, Yahweh said unto my Lord, Yahweh shall sit thou at my right hand till I make thy enemies my footstool. You know, verse 2, Yahweh Shem Yahushai shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion, thou wilt thou in the midst of thine enemies. So this is his power being shown. You know, that's why it's being shown through his elect. And that's why verse 3 said what it said about our people being willing in the day of our power. You know, and these heathens they're gonna be shook. They're gonna think that they can crouch down, you know. But Yahweh Shai know that, you know, they ain't right. They gonna bow to, and they gonna bow to the elect men. Let me come down. Is it the great earthquake is what is gonna be caused by nukes that are gonna hit this place. You know. Yeah, you know, precept to that is Revelation chapter 16 verse 18, verse 17. I'm gonna start there. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done." Verse 18, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty earthquake and so great, you know. So that same great earthquake that was spoken about in Revelation chapter 11 verse 13 and verse 9, verse 19 goes into it even more. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before Yahweh Shem Yahushai to give her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. You know, so they were. So great Babylon, that's the same city that's being spoken of in verse 13. It came in remembrance before Yahweh and the Son Yahushai to give unto her that cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath, because these devils they shall surely drink. Verse 20, and every island fled away, and the mountains were not found, you know, because of that great earthquake, the fierceness of his wrath. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. Because there ain't no hail well that weigh that much. What is that talking about? Nukes. Men blasphemed Yahweh Shem Yahushai because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceedingly great. So because of this plague that was hitting, they blasphemed Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know. At the same time as they was giving glory, you know. That's probably referring to the 2/3 that were like, damn, this was it. They was right. You know, and as well as some heathens trying to crouch down, you know, trying to, like in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, because they know they fucked up. But, you know, it's probably referring to all people acting like heathens. The remnant. For them, yeah, the ones that was left behind. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's talking about, because our people are the ones that give glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All these heathens, even these niggas, they would be the ones that would blaspheme Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So maybe I was wrong about that part. But you know, some are gonna give glory. Okay, some are gonna give glory, and doesn't want to speak of a remnant, and throughout the book it speak of that elect. It speak of the 1/3, but it could be the ones that left after the chariots picked up the elect. It could be that, because it speak of the elect in verse 12. But you know, and then that these heathens are gonna blaspheme Yahweh Hashem Yahushai because of that plague of the hail. You know, it's just described as hail, for the plague thereof was exceedingly great. But really, what it is that third woe, verse 14, chapter 11, Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So this that same woe, because woe means destruction. 3 woes, 3 world wars. 3 world wars. You know, as these devils have planned. And of course, it's prophesied to be 3 world wars. You know, that there will Armageddon. Verse 16, you know, the the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the mount of the troops, Armageddon. Verse 16, and he gathered them together into the place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, or Armageddon. Verse 17, and the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. Verse 18, and there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great. You know, that's when you hear about that earthquake, after talk about Armageddon, you know, and then the 7th angel pouring the vial upon the air, and you know, that great voice out of the temple saying, It is done. It is done. You know, because that's it. You know, when them nukes hit, World War III happens, and when them nukes hit, it's done. It's over with. That's when Great Babylon gonna come in remembrance before Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. That's when this place gonna be judged. You know, how by those thermonuclear missiles. You know, which is gonna create a lake of fire. This place gonna be turned into a lake of fire. The wicked shall be turned into hell. You know, that's that third woe. That's what's leading to. That's why these nations, they're so afraid of us waking up, because that third woe is that leads to that third woe, and this place being destroyed, and these devils going down, these nations going down, one of them into slavery. These devils going down into slavery and getting wiped off the face of the earth, cast out like that abominable branch, and these heathens, you know, they're gonna be under us. You know, they're gonna be back in their lands, but you know, they're gonna be under us. They're not gonna be able to do their own thing, oppress our people. They ain't gonna be able to have no type of rulership like that. They're gonna be under us, and these heathens are afraid of that. These devils are definitely shook, because they know what's coming for them. And so, you know, yeah, and also how you know is because verse 15 in the 7th, Revelation chapter 11, verse 15, and the 7th angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdom of our Lord Yahweh and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and forever. Verse 16, that's why the 24 elders were set before Yahweh on the seats, fell upon the faces and worshiped Yahweh. Because this is when it's over with. This is when these actual Gentiles, these heathens bullshit of our people is over with. These 2/3, they gonna also get it and come back in their right mind. Really it's good for really it's for their own good. Because they're gonna come back and it's for their own good that we're waking up. Because they're gonna come back in the right mind, and they're gonna come back in the right mind, and they're gonna be straight in the kingdom. Really, they have to. It's a mercy killing. What's gonna happen to them? So I want to give. Hold on. Maybe something else. Yeah, it's talking about. Hey. Actually, I need to go into more. Saying, we give thee thanks, verse 17. We give thee thanks, O Yahweh, O Lord God Almighty, Yahweh, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. Verse 18, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they shouldest be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Which that's Esau. Within these nations, they follow along with Esau. So they're getting destroyed too. And of course these 2/3 getting that mercy killing because they adopted the way of these nations. They couldn't come back. They're too far gone. So on this side they gotta go. These nations, man, these nations, these devils. That's why they're so shook, cause they know they through. These 2/3, man, they just, they're not right in their heads, coming against us. But yeah, I wanted to go into the 2 witnesses, cause that's our people. The 1/3 of that's 1/3 of our people. 1/3 of the northern and southern kingdoms waking up. That house of David that we put terror on these heathen, that tormented them which dwell on the earth. These 2 prophets, these 2 messengers of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, aka the angels that were put in these chains of darkness. They're gonna be risen back up. They are being risen back up. This happening, and after that, they all risen back up. Then verse 12. Verse 12, we getting delivered. They heard a great voice up from heaven, saying unto them, come up hither, it's when we gonna be delivered. They didn't want us to be delivered, and then, because what's gonna happen next is their destruction, because our kingdom coming next. That great earthquake caused by them nukes. So, lucky. But, hey, man, that's what I wanted to go into. And after that, basically the kingdom. That's what I want to go into. They don't want Jacob to rise back up. They don't want us to have the rulership again. And that's why he shook at these 2 witnesses. And that's who these 2 witnesses are. The 2 houses of Jacob. The house of Israel, that aka Joseph, aka Ephraim, and the house of Judah, the northern and southern kingdoms coming together in one accord. You know, that on the house of David. When we put terror and hell on these heathens. And the Esau, man, got it bad, and they gonna get it worse, and they know it. Alright, so I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, double honors to... Oh, I hope this live was edifying. I know it's kind of got tedious towards the end, but I wanted to go into that, because that's the dead state that our people are in these 2/3. That's the reason why they gotta go. You know, that's why they're coming up against us and why they gotta go. That's why I went into that, but, you know. I hope this live was edifying. Because Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, I was showing that it was talking about both the heathens and the heathenized Israelites, aka the 2/3. Okay, that's it. That's all. I had to just FYI, just let y'all know. Alright, hope this live was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners that look like the other nations, but the Spirit beareth witness that they're the children of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright, shalom. Alright, stay strong, men and women of valor. Hopeful elect. We're almost out of here. These 2 witnesses being raised up. Stay strong. Stay strong. Our deliverance is near. Look up, for your deliverance is nigh. It's closer than what you believe. Keep looking up. Alright. Shalom. Stay up, you know. Keep, persevere, keep going, keep pushing. Alright, shalom. Till next time.